Thanks for telling us who
Epiphany?
Wait, he listens to this.
Damian Priest is gonna cost him the match.
So go fuck yourself and shut the fuck up.
There's nothing wrong with someone where you can use someone to elevate your status, but don't hurt the fans. Don't take a piss on us and say it's raining. Be honest, because seriously, all The Rock has to do for the Hall of Fame, you couldn't do a Hall of Fame speech. Say, for Triple H coming via satellite, dressed up, even if you put on a monkey suit at home or in front of the, I'm pretty sure he has some beautiful. Bruce Buffer with us.
Very much for your kind words. I appreciate that. Everything is going according to schedule. I knew when I started 25 years ago this was going to be the biggest thing in sports, fighting sports especially, and that's exactly what it's become.
Hey Kevin, UFC flyweight champ. In short term right now, I just want to get into the ranking. That's one of the biggest influences where I just love his style. He's so well rounded, so good everywhere. How I want to be, so I like to watch a lot of his fights.
You have it right there from the one and only, your grandmother's favorite wrestler, Mr. Matt Awesome. This is the Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network from BI Sports Jedi Kev, PG Chris, and Matt Awesome. Tell me about your journey from the Bronx. How did you get into wrestling first and foremost?
Man, I've been a fan since I was a baby.
See you in Three Legacies wrestling. That's my.
Oh, I met him last year because they wrestled for CWA, and I actually had a match. I was in a fatal 4-way with Zoe Cannon.
Zoe Cannon, she's the Zoe Cannon. I was gonna throw it out there. I want to see you and Zoe Cannon go one-on-one.
Yeah, well, I need that one-on-one too.
Ricardo, Ricardo, he retweeted. He knows me. He retweets my stuff. If you go back on his recent, he retweeted my clip of last week. So, Ricardo, make it happen, please, brother, please.
It needs to happen.
Please.
He did the whale on me. It was hilarious.
That my goal is to become the first ever Gremlin House Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. So, don't worry, Mother Endless, because I am not like other girls. I am much, much worse.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Born. I just want to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me, man. I heard you got 7,000 subscribers now on your podcast, and that's something to be proud of, and I hope it continues to grow and do well, and I'm happy for you, man. But anyways, thank you for your support. I'm glad that my matches are inspiring and that they're fun to watch, and I hope that each week I continue to get better so that fans like you can enjoy watching them and support. So again, thank you so much, and I hope to meet you one day at one of the NXT shows, and looking forward to it. See you, Kevin.
Big sexy Billy Swanson. Billy, welcome to the program. We appreciate you on this beautiful Thursday evening with us. Thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. My foremost is, how are you feeling after that wonderful fight? You won us over here. We'll break into that, but how are you feeling, my friend?
My mic on muted, but no, I feel good, man. My calf's a little bruised up, and I've got a couple of in my I can heal from within a week and get back to full time.
Are you at the gym currently? Looks like you're at the gym. Am I wrong?
No, I am at my gym. We just finished a wrestling class. Ran back to it and did a wrestling. Well, he used to be college coach. He's spent 17 years in coaching. Really just top class wrestling.
Gotcha. All right. And okay. Well, let me ask you this: what got you started in MMA? Like, what made you decide to become a pro fighter? Is it something you grew up watching and wanted to do, or is it something someone presented you when you're older, or a teenager, or?
Well, what's funny, what got me started into it, don't get me wrong, I had to grow up watching it, but I never had the interest. But I got into it because I was actually out of shape, man. I was like 330 pounds. I was fat, out of shape. And let's go, no big person. So, like, I had to run. So I was like, I could go learn boxing, you know.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you. Because I am the hero the Sports Jedi deserves, but not the one it needs right now. Long live Lexus King. Welcome to the Heel of the Ring podcast here on Sports Jedi Network. Today's subject, LFG season finale, was last night. We're going to react. Was the right candidate, men and women, best for business? We all see that's Zeta Sterling. In the finals, Tyler May Steele. In the finals, the former Olympian gold medalist. We see Jasper Troy for the finals for the men, as well as Charlotte Hill. And I love the fact that they had the explanation with HBK when it came to the women. Listen, I think the popular vote, the emotional connection was Zena Sterling. I think Zena became a character that everyone enjoyed watching her growth from week 1 to the finals, where you thought that who is this young lady who doesn't look like she's so sharp, but looks could be deceiving when it came to Zena Sterling in the whole show. Working on that compromise knee, I think swayed the decision for the judge, or in this case Shawn Michaels, to go with Tyra May Steele. I like what Booker T said as a coach, as his thoughts on why Zena should have gotten that contract, or his thoughts or his judgment was Tyra May Steele, there was no progression. It was the same, you know. Bubba, if you watch the show, Bubba Ray Dudley tried to get the heel out of her. She cut a promo on Bubba Ray talking about, you know, when she smiles for the people that's not around to smile anymore. But when you see her talk, if you like me or don't like me, you're going to see more of me. So kind of heelish, where proving a point, even Undertaker says that she's the heel at heart. Short term, that is the right business decision for Tyra May Steele. I think they're trying to bottle or find the female version of Kurt Angle. I don't know if she has it or not. She's been the longest tenured wrestler on that LFG show, I believe, other than Cutler James. I know I see them plenty of matches on Level Up when we do the watch along and cover. For Tyra May Steele, now it's time to grow. Now you're going to be in NXT, where you could see that they have a roster of strong women. You can't sit on your laurels or go to that performance center. I'm a 2-time gold medalist, or I'm an Olympic gold medalist. And okay, it's cute and all. Give me something more. You know, Kurt Angle, after the Olympic gold medal, you know, he adventured a hell of a wrestler. I mean, and also even in comedic, when Vince gave him some terrible creative in the comic, you know, being a funny guy, he killed it. We need to see something for Tyra May Steele, you know. And again, that ceiling to compare to Kurt Angle, that's a tough one too. You can't do that. It's not fair for Tyra May Steele. But in the short term, Tyra Steele personally is the choice of the two ladies, my dark horse, who I would have liked to see, because I think that's a totally different spectrum of talent, was Bailey. If you remember Bailey, I mean, she presents herself like a 7-foot monster. I believe she's like 6'3", if that. But just the way she looked, her, her was unique. She wasn't the ditzy, beauty prom queen. She wasn't the strong, mean, tough like Pelina or Tyra Steele. She just was different. She was just built different, a one of a kind. Like the way we saw Jodie Lawler, aka China. And I'm not comparing the two ladies, but when China burst on the scene, like, oh damn, who the hell is this? And then of course, I think Bailey, with time, out of all the LFG girls for the season 1, I think she's the one that's going to be above and beyond expectation of like, holy moly. Just her look, her menacing finisher with the head crush. For her later down the road, I think she's going to be fine-tuned in the performance center with all those great coaches. I think Bailey is a name to watch out. It will be personal, honest with all the women from the LFG. Zena Sterling has an it factor. She could wrestle, she could go, she could sell. She does the psychology well in the ring. Of course, and she has the look. So marketably, we're speaking, it might be Zena Sterling, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey, you could kind of make her, and I hate to, and I'm not comparing it, but I am kind of that Andre the Giant woman. Like, holy cow, territories want to see her because she is menacing. It is not because it's not to be poke fun. She's just menacing. She has an it factor in a good way. Like, oh damn, who is she? She stops your attention. If she continues to develop the way they've been developing her in the performance center, or we saw on LFG, it's her matches like, oh damn, must watch, because she is a powerhouse. So the women's side, we could debate Tyra Steele, Zena Sterling. If Cena would have not got hurt and wrestled at 50% of her knees, or have that injury where they don't know if she's going to require surgery or not at that time of filming LFG, I think Zena would have beaten out on Tyra Steele, and I think it would have made Tyra work a little more harder, because she's been there before. She knows the trial and tribulation of working her butt off. She's a Olympic gold medalist, like she tells us every time. For Zena, I think it's going to make her work even stronger, make her work more sharper, get her abilities more sharper, from promos to character development. Maybe we'll like to see now in season 2, because they are coming back for season 2, maybe Zena Sterling work as a glorified heel. Now, could we see her range as a heel? We've seen the range as a babyface, the ditzy babyface, the what they call the oxymoron. Let me see a heel change now in character. Let me see a serious heel, or make me dislike you. If you could make that as a watcher or a audience, you got something there. And I think Zena's going to kick it out of the park. Let's go to the men. Of course, Jasper Troy, Shyla Hill. With Shyla, he's a student of the game. He looks like he wants to get really good, wants to grow, he wants to be ready. But I like what Booker T, what Bubba Ray said on the show, when he says, you have your world champion, and you need a guy to face your world champion, to step up. And they showed Obafemi, and you see the physique and the entrance of a Jasper Troy, and the way he works as a big man. His finisher, the boss man slam, working with the powerhouse, with the choke slam, with different power maneuvers, the running slam, and all from Jasper. Also a young man who's not afraid of getting on the microphone. He dared to go after in a promo CM Punk throughout this. If you remember episode 6 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, you're like, oh damn, tough, a person to really go after Punk, and he spit some truth about going away and leaving him as a fan, waiting for some Punk. I like that for Jasper Troy. Throw a little realism in that promo with some heart. You could tell, like Booker T, his coach said, he's hungry, and it's going to be fun to see his development, his growth, and hopefully he keeps that hunger and desire, not get complacent, and I know they mentioned about his character, he gets a little his bell rung or his feathers ruffled. Now that's the case. No, it will be a great opportunity for Booker T as his mentor, protege, his protege mentor, to have him have a conversation with Mark Henry. Seriously, Mark Henry has spoken many times on Busted Open about being ribbed for coming in for whatever reason, for being the highest paid athlete at the time when the boys were making the same amount of money. Also, they ribbed him a lot where they had to tell him, relax. And I believe there was that infamous story. They wanted to choke out Shawn Michaels, and they sent him to Calvary to cool down. Whatever the case was, I could be wrong on my factual story, but he mentioned stories similar like that. That he had a temper, and he knew, and they had to tell him to relax. I think a great conversation for Jasper Troy, if the WWE is worried about that, that's what, as a concern that was mentioned. Have a conversation, work with Mark Henry. Be great. He is on a Legends deal. That's a special guest. We'll love that season 2, or even if he's not directly with Jasper Troy, but to the other men and women on season 2 will be a great person to come in and have a conversation. So Jasper Troy, I love what they're doing with him. I think if they get the right storylines to start off, this guy's going to be a problem, an issue, good one. Personally, I'm going to be totally frankly honest with you. I'd rather see Jasper Troy get a monster push than Keanu Carver. And he's on Evolve, but I'd rather see Jasper Troy. Be honest with you. There's something more with Jasper where the other Keanu Carver looks like he's going to get himself in some trouble. And it's funny because they say the opposite of the, when they mentioned on the LNG last night. I was like, no, you're talking about Keanu Carver. But we will move on in that one. But out of all the male, Charlotte Hill is going to be very impressive. He's going to be very important because Shawn Michaels mentioned something. The ability of working in different characters, from that serious, that baby face, that monster, that they want to work with him in the Mystique, and it has and I know there's a lot of eerie resemblance to the late Bray Wyatt with Jasper Troy, with Charlotte Hill, excuse me. Just be Charlotte Hill. Don't not want to step into or imitate or be Bray. You got Bro doing the Wyatt family stuff. I hope they don't want to push him in there, whatever the case is. Let him be his own character. Let him be his own, Charlotte Hill. And it would be also another one that I'm interested to see him grow in LFG, NXT, and both WWE in the near future. So, right for business, Jasper Troy was the right person for business at the moment. Because even if you build them, Obafemi is going to have a long world title reign. Jasper, go in there, eventually warm him, get him ready, go. You could probably talk about maybe at deadline he wins the Iron Survivor, and then you're setting up for maybe Stand and Deliver next year, where Oba gets a chance to go to the main roster, get moved up, where you have a Jasper Troy beat him in Vengeance, then they have the rematch at Stand and Deliver, and that's Obafemi's swan song up to the main roster. I'm just speculating how I usually see how NXT works, or how it's done with Mello, Trick, Braun, so forth. But for all the other males, I'm happy that Troy Yearwood is on Evolve, signed with Evolve. Troy, I thought it was great, one of Mickey James's guys. Good to see that he got signed for Evolve. Great that hopefully he gets some more TV time. I think that kid is a natural, talent-wise. I think he's really sharp. I think he's going to get really good coaching in Evolve. He's going to get some good TV times on Tubi, so great for him. I think there's something there with the young man. Also for season 2, I kind of want to see it grow from Elijah Holyfield. I am a big fan, rooting for him. I want him to make it. I want him to be a wrestling NXT superstar. I'm rooting for him. I got invested in this LFG with a lot of the different characters, a lot of the different wrestlers, for all the different team. It was interesting journey to see each and one of them. There's some that you question if they're season 2, can they cut it? Will they be around for season 3? Could they be released? I don't know. There's a few but you know what? It's a learning experience. Hopefully they shift or they shape up and get ready to go. So, and hopefully they get ready, this experience, and they know, man, I didn't make this is season 1. Might be my last chance. I got to show major growth, because look, Troy Ewart didn't win the LFG contract, but he got himself an Evolve deal. So there's other avenues. If you impress your coaches, you work hard, and I think these kids that are on LFG do wanna make it. They so maybe this on season 2, some of them will wake up, the light bulb goes even brighter, and go, I gotta do something, or I'm gonna be out. Especially them being around where the cuts happen, the releases, and they're like, that's another reality that might get them, I gotta get going, because WWE don't play. They got rid of so and so and so. I'm just here learning being apprenticeship. Yeah, they'll probably take a little more serious. Although I'm not suggesting that they didn't take anything serious, but they did. They, hopefully they get going. And the coaches, Undertaker was felt like Undertaker was more worried, more excited about winning that LFG title than developing wrestlers. He did develop great wrestlers. Don't misinterpret that. But it showed Booker T. Booker T fought for every one of his talent. And they call it politicking. I know Undertaker had to rub it when he got the title. Goes, well, I don't have a wrestling school. Great, that's fine. But remember, if you look at the competition, there was a lot of points that were not given to Booker T's wrestlers. And on the LFG, there was that Gunther point that didn't give it to Jasper Troy. Look, Gunther just didn't like Jasper. You could tell. He just didn't rub him the wrong way. He rubbed him the wrong way. Don't know if there's any behind the scenes that happened, or whatever the case was. And that point should have been to Jasper Troy. There were some issues. There were some points that should have been gone to Booker T. Booker T should have won that goofy title anyway. I don't think Booker T cares about that. I think Booker T really genuinely cares about the development of his students, pupil, teacher, mentorship. I think the proof is in his pudding. Reality of wrestling. All the different stars. All he has to do to show the Undertaker. Here's Roxanne Perez, where even Bully Ray on Busted Open Radio says she was gonna get lost in the main roster. She wasn't ready. Look at Roxanne now. She's killing it. She's going to Monday Night Raw, teaming up with Julia, separating with Julia. Her match with going in the ring with Rhea Ripley, it shows what Reality of Wrestling and Booker T School prepares. Also the Usos on the Reality of Wrestling. If you knew that, that's another one. Booker T, Sila Fatu, Jacob Fatu was in Reality of Wrestling under Booker T's eye. Booker T School has given us great results, as well as 3D Academy. We cannot diminish what 3D Academy. I goof on Bubba Ray on my stream and all that stuff, but you got to give the guy props with him and Devon with their school. Jessica Carr, the Tongan twins. There's so many different names. Camille. There's a lot of names for the 3D Academy that's come out there. So season 2, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what season 2 does. What brings in store for us here, BJ Ryan. I want to know if BJ Ryan and Bubba Ray are going to have butt heads if he's back to torment Bubba Ray. I'm pretty sure Bubba's not going to pick him. Although knowing Bubba, he'll be a SOB and pick him just to try to make his life miserable. But there is something that BJ Ryan, he's a Logan Paul type, Grayson Waller, Logan Paul type of guy, heel antagonist that you can't wait for. Ethan Page, that you want to see someone just pop him in the mouth and give him his comeuppance. But we'll find out there. So this is the LFG review. I'm BX Sports Jedi Kev. Don't forget to tune into the Hill the Ring podcast tomorrow, May 20th. We have a special interview guest, Jared Diaz, one half of the Uptown Boys, will be joining us, Independent Wrestling, as we continue our series on interviewing independent wrestlers, and we are featuring Latinos and Latinas, Boricuas in professional wrestling. Not only that we want to just do Latinos and Boricuas, we also want to talk to everyone. We want to talk to everyone from the independent scenes, male and female, because you're out there on the independent scene, and we're giving you a platform because I want to hear your story. I want to share your story with my 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, with my 10,000 followers on X, where I want them to know that there's a place for independent wrestlers. There's a place where at least me and my channel want to hear from you. If you're an independent wrestler, I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. Let's have a conversation, an interview conversation. We're not going to get personal. It's none of our business who you're dating, who's your preference, and we want to know your journey in this beautiful art that's called professional wrestling. So if you're an independent wrestler, male or female, you could DM me, you could email me, or if I have sent emails and DM me to let me know, we'd love to have you on and have a conversation at your convenience, at your time. We'll make the time to make the interview for you, because we know you also wrestle, you train, most of them have a 9-to-5 job like myself. And we understand and respect that. So with that said, thank you so much for the Hill the Ring Wrestling Podcast. Remember, do not get pinned by life. Always kick out and get yourself over and may the sports be with you. I am BS Sports JEDI Kev. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for telling us what
Damian Priest is gonna cost me that.
So go fuck yourself and shut the fuck up.
Someone where you can use someone to elevate your status, but don't hurt the fans. Don't take a piss on us and say it's raining. Be honest, because seriously,
that's just a funny analogy.
All The Rock has to do for the Hall of Fame, you couldn't do a Hall of Fame speech. Say, yo, for Triple H, come and be a satellite, dressed up. Even if you put on a monkey suit at home or in front of the, I'm pretty sure he has some beautiful. With us.
Very much for your kind words. I really appreciate that. Everything is going according to schedule. I knew when I started 25 years ago this was going to be the biggest thing in sports, and fighting sports especially, and that's exactly what's happening.
Hey Kevin, in short term right now, I just want to get into the winning fights there. One of the biggest influences were George St. Pierre. I just love his style. He was so well-rounded and just so good everywhere. And that's kind of like how I want to be. So I like to watch a lot of his fights and try to emulate him.
You have it right there from the one and only, your grandmother's favorite wrestler, Mr. Matt Awesome. This is the Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports JEDI Network from BS Sports JEDI Kev, PG Chris, and Matt Awesome. Tell me about your journey coming from the Bronx. How did you get into wrestling first and foremost?
Man, I've been a fan since I was a baby.
You and Three Legacies wrestling. That's my.
Oh, I met him last year because they wrestled for TWA, and I actually had a match. I was in a fatal 4-way with Zoe Cannon.
Zoe Cannon, she's Zoe Cannon. I was gonna throw it out there. I want to see you and Zoe Cannon go one-on-one.
I need that one-on-one too.
Ricardo, Ricardo, he retweeted. He knows me. He retweets my stuff. If you go back on his recent, he retweeted my clip of last week. So, Ricardo, make it happen, please, brother. Please.
It needs to happen.
Please.
He did the whale on me. It was hilarious.
That my goal is to become the first ever Gremlin House Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. So, don't worry, Mother Emmas, because I am not like other girls. I am much worse.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, MISOUT. I just want to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me, man. I heard you got 7,000 subscribers now on your podcast, and that's something to be proud of, and I hope you continue to grow and do well, and I'm happy for you, man. But anyways, thank you for your support. I'm glad that my match was inspiring and that they're fun to watch. And I hope that each week I continue to get better so that fans like you can enjoy watching them and support. So again, thank you so much, and I hope to meet you one day at one of the NXT shows, and looking forward to it. See you, Kevin.
Big Sexy Billy Swanson. Billy, welcome to the program. We appreciate you on this beautiful Thursday evening with us. Thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. My foremost is, how are you feeling after that wonderful fight? You won us over here. We'll break into that, but how are you feeling, my friend?
My fault, muted. But no, I feel good, man. You know, my calf's a little bruised up, and I've got a couple inches in my mouth to go from in a week and get back to full time.
Are you at the gym currently? Sounds like looks like you're at the gym. Am I wrong?
No, I am at my gym. We just finished a wrestling class. My Philip made a college wrestler. Well, he used to be a college wrestler, college coach. He's got like 17 years in coaching. He's really, really good top class wrestler.
Gotcha. All right. And okay. Well, let me ask you this: what got you started in MMA? Like, what made you decide to become a pro fighter? Was it something you grew up watching and wanted to do, or something someone presented you?
Well, what's funny, what got me started into it, don't get me wrong, I had to grow up watching it, but I never had the interest in competing. But I got into it because I was actually out of shape, man. I was like 330 pounds, fat, out of shape, and let's go, no big person running. So, like, I had to run. So I was like, I could go learn boxing, you know,
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you. Because I am the hero the Sports Jedi deserves, but not the one it needs right now. Long live Lexus King.